Yeah, I'm back, y'all. The thing that's just eating me up right now, what is going on with the NFC East right now? I mean, it's just I don't know what's happening with them because, like I said, I honestly was really thinking that Philly just hasn't really looked themselves. I think it has something to do with it. They call it the the in the Super Bowl hangover and whatnot. I don't know if it's that. Of course, Carson Wentz has played relatively decent since he's got back. Uh, and whatnot. Knew that the whole Nick Foles thing was not going to last at all. But that just he is who he is. I've already talked about these types of things before. But as a whole, the NFC East is not really playing very well right now, and it really sickens me to even see that because my Cowboys are in the NFC East, and they're 2-3 right now, and they're 2-3, and they've completely. We said this is my whole thing when a lot of times these players and their social media and running off at the mouth, and a lot of these guys just gotta talk, have diarrhea at the mouth. It's like it's funny, and might come back and maybe eat my words or whatever like that. But we don't want to say that Dak Prescott made the comment about when and say you don't need a number one receiver to win and all this kind of stuff. No, you may not. A number one receiver to me is just someone that is kind of special, and there's only but so many of them out there. That mean that guy that can sit up there and can take a can get risk separation. He has that speed like an Antonio Brown and all them guys like that, and OBJ, D Hop, uh, Hopkins and whatnot. Those types of guys are up in an upper echelon of your number one receivers. Not every team has number one receivers and whatnot, and I get that. But what I'm saying, and you can't win. I say, but those are the guys. You need your receivers to be NFL caliber wide receivers. That's why they got drafted for. Okay, which means that the reason why somebody like, let's say, Tom Brady can sit up there win with a Julian Edelman or a Wes Welker or that of a Danny Amendola or a complete uh, plethora of a bunch of no-name receivers. For one, it's from coaching, obviously, a lot of that. But it's like them guys play. What I mean by they catch the ball, they're not going to run away from anybody. They're not going to be 6'3", 225, 230 on some Megatron type stuff. Those guys catch a ball. Their job is to get to the destination where they at, catch the ball, and try to make another 4 or 5 yards. Because of course New England doesn't really have a run game. But that's what good receivers do. Those guys move the chains. They move the chains. They're not the home run hitters. They don't have. I said they have that. They have that part of the game where I may not do that, but my hands are sticky. I'm gonna catch the ball and I'm gonna make somebody miss. So when it goes from 1st and 10, and they do that, I get 6 or 7 yards on that. So the next play is 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, and manageable. And you get that. That's how New England does it. That's why, and you can do that with no number one receiver. You can do that with NFL caliber receiver, which goes back to the whole Drew Brees thing. If them guys are there to bring their lunch pail and come there to work. So you don't have to have name brand. You don't. It's nice if you got that, but you don't necessarily have to have that. But it is nice. It's a nice problem to have. So therefore, Dak says that, but where is those guys making those plays at? Who are the guys making, I'm saying, Cole Beasley and all them other guys and stuff like that? Them guys are not making those particular type of plays. And then not only that, Dallas has to get to a particular point where they need to start feeding the ball to Zeke. And of course, Dak has to play better as well. You know what I'm saying? And again, leadership, that 4th and 1, that was ridiculous. I mean, run it. If he's one of the top backs in the game, give the ball to him. Okay? I'm not going to make this whole Dallas. I'm talking about the NFC East and just how they're playing. The whole fiasco going on, like I said, talked about Philly with Washington. I'm like, with the Skins, I'm like, it's like, again, no running game. What about, I've told you guys, as much as I love Adrian Peterson all day and all this, all that, when a running back gets to a particular time, when he's jumping from team to team to team, that's what's going to happen. Those are the types of things. Those are the types of things that's going to happen when they jump from team to team to team to team. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? When he's jumping, he doesn't have it much left. You can look at him; he doesn't have much of it left. You know what I'm saying? He still runs hard and he sees it, but you see that he doesn't have that when he cuts and then he's gone. It's slower. and he may want to still keep up. I say, but like I said, they're having problems in the running game. They can't run the ball. Their receivers are not being consistent. Their receivers are not being consistent whatsoever. So and all of that, and their defense is not playing that great. So it's just a mess over there. Of course, they're gonna put that down on Alex Smith. Say, oh, but Kirk Cousins hasn't won anything 2-1 or whatever. He hasn't won anything really yet as of yet. So it is what it is. But it's like they got to get it. But that goes back to me. That goes back to coaching, because I don't think Gruden is a good coach. He got a lot of money to sit up there, and it's almost the same thing like it was when he had Kirk Cousins, more or less. It's like somebody's mediocre is getting, you're not really getting anything out of it. You're not getting anything out of it at the end of the day. So once you break that down, that's some of the problems over there with them. They don't have running back, and nobody consistent in that receiving thing, and their defense is just a mess at this particular point. So now you go to New York Giants, which are a complete mess. Now I was like, this game is going to be interesting between them and Philly tonight, because somebody has got to win, and somebody's obviously going to have to lose. And you're looking at one team that is 2-3, and another team is 1-4. Now the Giants, at times, you can see why with OBJ, they got Barkley going on and whatnot. Those guys got some. They got some weapons, but it's like but this whole thing with Odell Beckham Jr. and all the running off at the mouth and this and that and calling everybody doing whatever he calls himself doing, and hanging out with Lil Wayne putting his 5 cents in. Lil Wayne don't have anything to do with it, do with the New York Giants after it's all over, said and done with. Nothing to do with him. He has nothing to do with them. So Odell Beckham Jr. needs it, and that's my main thing against him. These young guys coming in and talking about their brand and hanging out with these guys and stuff like that. Lil Wayne has already made a particular name for himself. OBJ is making a name for himself. He's still in the youngest stages of his career, but at the same time, he keeps making these silly mistakes. He had a great game against Carolina and all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's like, what? You got Barkley. I'm like, he's going to be a probably good one or whatever, but he ain't really, as far as, it's funny how they're doing this whole thing. Oh, yeah, he had 100 yards. It used to be a time a running back was judged by how he was running, not necessarily the total yards. You can sit up there and say, this guy has 2,000 yards of a line of scrimmage. Well, he rushed for 1,700 yards and he had 300 yards. He's a running back. I want to see him do that. I'm not concerned because he had 50 yards rush. He had 60 yards receiving and 30 yards rushing. You didn't draft him to be a receiver. You drafted him to be a running back. So everybody, I'm starting to see the little thing here when it's like, when the Joker do 1,000, come talk to me, right? But it's like, it can be misleading to say, oh, he's the first back to that, 100 yards from scrimmage in the first 5 games. He's only had 100-yard rushing game. Everything else is he's caught some passes and stuff, some long passes and everything, because he's a good receiver coming out of the backfield. But, I don't want to hear that he's had 30 yards rushing and he had 60 or 70 yards over here passing. You drafted him to be a running back. Where's that 150 yards? Where's that 175? Where's that 130? Where's that 200? Whatever. He goes that high. I need to see that. I'm not saying he can't, but they was breaking down tape of him, and he was not hitting his holes the way he was supposed to hit his holes. And they were right there. If you looking at him and whatnot, you can't try to outrun. You can every now and then you can race one of them big linemen to the end and stuff and might hook the corner. But at the same time, you got to still read your blocks and all this kind of stuff like that. And a lot of his runs are bounce outs. I haven't really seen him represent in the middle of the field, in between tackles. I see him, some will be bottled up, and he'll use his speed to bounce out. But him running in the inside has kind of been a problem and stuff that I've seen so far with him. But I want to see, it's like I said, but he's a running back. I don't want to hear, oh, he's getting 100 yards. He's getting 100 yards between both of them, like 40, 60, 50 or 60 here and stuff like that, 100 yards line of scrimmage. No, I want to see 100 and some odd yards rushing. I want to see 100, 120, 140, 200. Make me jump up out of my seat. That's what I want to see. But the Giants isn't giving that to you right now, and it's turning into a fiasco. And like I say, somebody better put a muzzle on OBJ. Like I said, but the teams like that do that, no leadership. Because Eli Manning ain't never been that anyway, as far as that goes. So this is what you're dealing with here. Thus, you have Washington 2-2, Dallas 2-3, 2-3 at Philly, New York 1-4. So I think Philly probably may get this game and everything like that. But it's like I said, though, but I wouldn't doubt, because New York can, because they snuck back up on Carolina. And that was because Carolina left the gas off. They got off the gas when they could have sit up there and poured it on, but they played conservative. And, you know, I hate when teams do that. But and New York got back in the game, fought their way back, and when and Eli started, you know, making some moves, and Odell Beckham was doing his thing and stuff like that. So it's like they have some talent there, but I'm like they have a long way to go. But I'm like right now the NFC East doesn't look good whatsoever. And I guess the Eagles, it's up for grabs. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody 9-7 actually won that division and stuff like that, and don't do anything in the playoffs. You know, I wouldn't be surprised by that. But they got to, you know, as a Dallas fan, somebody got to start making a move. And a lot of these things, in my opinion, comes from the top, leadership and whatnot. Not something Jerry Jones running around there arguing with Dez Bryant and stuff like that. Dez Bryant needs to stay off Twitter like a lot of these guys need to, but that's their business, though. That's just my humble opinion. But they're the NFC East, man. I'm like, you know, like I said, it might be one with 9-7 records. So it wouldn't surprise me none, because right now it's not no good football is really being played there right now. And for my team, Dallas, it starts with Zeke and it ends with Zeke. Their defense played good. It's like your coach ain't giving you the ball on 4th and 1. It's a problem. That man need to touch that ball 25, 30 times a game. How many times you need to touch it? He's that guy. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. I'm about to get off out so I'll watch some more of this game. Check me out, Everything Football 62 on YouTube channel. Subscribe to the page. Hit the likes. Leave some comments. We can talk. Go to Twitter, Everything Football 62, Untucked 62. Check me out. Subscribe to the page and leave some comments or whatever. And we go from there. We'll be back in a few, y'all. Y'all have a good one.